Jared and Steve, thanks for letting me come on to your Smart Group training list today to talk to your group about some new exercises or some different exercises that I've been using bands to correct some of the things that you guys have taught me when it comes to looking at the functional movement screen. Yeah, so hey, I'll be right back with you to take you through one of the coolest exercises that I think might get your clients through the hump when it comes to hamstring flexibility problems. Hey, I'm down on the floor today to take you through a hamstring flexibility mobilization technique that I think might help some of you when it comes to hamstring flexibility issues. You know, when you look at the hamstring and you look at why it becomes tight, one of the ways that it becomes tight is because of nerve tension tightness. And we know that when you stretch the nerve, the one thing it doesn't like is it doesn't like any aggressive, overpressure type stretching, which is one of the things that we do very often when stretching with the bands. So one of the things that I'll do is I'll go ahead and do what we call nerve tension stretching for the hamstring, especially when we can identify that that potentially may be the issue, which interesting enough when it comes to older people, you know, and I'm talking 25 and older, 30 and older, nerve tension problems become one of the key elements that really restricts your hamstring flexibility more so than the hamstring itself. So you clear those myofascial structures with foam rolling and soft tissue work, and then put yourself through a little test. Take the band and hook it onto your foot. Now when you hook it onto your foot, you're going to hook it onto the ball of your foot. So please be careful that you don't hook it right onto the tip of your foot and it slides off your foot and hits you in the face. The key is put it right onto the ball of your foot, alright? If you need to, feel free to go ahead and hook it up twice. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll even take it and hook it on like this. This is my preference, but you can also do it with one band. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and put yourself down. Now what you want to do is, because the band is hooking right on the ball of your foot, you're going to create a great deal of dorsiflexion. Well, by creating a great deal of dorsiflexion prior to me going into knee extension, I'm going to go ahead and position that ankle to go ahead and put it through a nerve tension stretch if it specifically exists. So we go ahead and we pull down. Now the key is pull down on the band. Pull down on the band and lock it onto your foot. Don't let it be loose so that it can slide off your foot and hit you in the head. So what you want to do is I take it, hook it right on the ball of my foot by splitting the band on either side of my first metatarsal. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull down. And I'm just going to hook my fingers into loops. Now what I'm going to do is just work on pressing up. Now as I press up, I stay in dorsiflexion. I stay in dorsiflexion, so what happens is as I go into knee extension, if I've got nerve tension stretching or nerve tension issues, I'm going to feel it in my calf. Yeah, I'm going to feel it down in here more so than in my hamstring, which is a very solid indicator that you probably have some nerve tension issues. Hey, don't put that thing on a long static hold. Just nice and easily, just keep mobilizing it. Now what's really interesting is if you let your leg veer out to the right, you're going to immediately see the nerve tension flexibility or the nerve tension go away. Why? Because you've put the nerve in a much more relaxed position. Subsequently what's going to happen is you're not going to feel the nerve tension tightness. As soon as I bring it over here and I lock out like I do with my straight leg raise, active straight leg raise test, I'm going to immediately go ahead and not only expose the nerve to knee extension and to dorsiflexion, but I'm also going to expose it to hip flexion. So now I'm going ahead and I'm mobilizing that nerve to make sure that I'm lengthening it through the canal, and I'm just getting that nerve to slide in and out of its sheath as we mobilize it. Now, here's the key thing. Once you get it mobilized here, you'll probably feel the calf tightness go away. Now, veer it across your body just a little bit, but don't let this leg go with you. Don't let it rotate out. Keep it here and veer across your leg, and guess what? Nerve tension tightness comes back. Why? Because you've taken the hip, you've got it in flexion, but now you've taken it into a little bit of adduction and a little bit of rotation, which puts that sciatic nerve on a little bit more tension, and once again, here comes the nerve tension, flexibility, and tightness back. So there you go. So instead of just stretching the hamstring all the time like we normally do with the band, start mobilizing it for some nerve tension issues. What's interesting is if you do this for about 2 weeks consistently, I think you'll see a significant improvement in your nerve tension mobility. And interesting enough, you might find that you gain significant range of motion in your hamstring flexibility at the same time. So guess what? It wasn't the hamstring that was limiting you, it was the nerve. Get after it, start doing some nerve tension stuff, but hey, you should never have any pain. You should never have any stiffness in that nerve tissue after you've completed it. It should feel nothing but mobile when you're done. Make sure that's the case.